Hey everybody, Shona here, back with another episode review of House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 6. So this was actually a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I think Adam claiming Sea Smoke, or rather Sea Smoke claiming Adam, was pretty funny. It reminded me of most people have played this. If you've played Pokemon, on like the Game Boy Advance or something, and it's like, or even actually the newer ones too, that new Pokemon game, and I don't even remember what it's called, and I've been playing it. But the one that's open world with the Survey Corps, and basically like the Pokemon can stalk you if it wants, and it just follows you around, and it's like you're not in control of it. That's kind of like what watching Sea Smoke claim Adam was about. And I think it's kind of funny too how I mean Sir Stephen Darkling didn't even look right trying to claim Sea Smoke. And he was just standing there with his armor, and he had his sword, and he put his hand on his sword like he was afraid, even though Rhaenyra told him not to show fear. And then he didn't even get on Sea Smoke, and he's like, he put the hilt of the sword down. He's like, I've done it. It's like, no, you haven't. I watched a lot of reviews too, and a lot of people said that's also the that's also the place where he just really messed up. I mean, I think Sea Smoke was trolling to begin with, but man, because Sea Smoke's been watching Adam the entire time. I thought before it was Bela that Adam was seeing when he was looking for clams in the beach sand, but no, that was Sea Smoke. Sea Smoke has literally just been hanging out around Spice Town and kind of stalking Adam to be his new rider, because he probably smells the same as Rhaenyra, and this definitely confirms that Rhaenyra is dead, because dragons don't take another rider if their current rider is alive. I've seen some theories ranging from, did Rhaenyra get sacrificed, kind of like how Varys' manhood was sacrificed due to his, let's say, alleged Blackfyre Targaryen blood, or did Rhaenyra just die in some stupid petty war? Which again, I know I've been ragging on Rhaenyra a lot, but Rhaenyra's just, he's dumb to me. But Rhaenyra would have had all the war he wanted if he just would have hung out and stayed with his wife Rhaenyra, and he could have went on tons of wars, dragon battles, and hey, he could have been the one who died at Rook's Rest instead of Rhaenys, who was arguably way more important than Rhaenyra. But I digress. Alright, what do we got here? As always, I mean, I've caught up now, so the website and YouTube, the YouTube channel, are accurate. I mean, today's the last day of the season. The season finale is going to premiere tonight, so I just have to finish this review here, and then I just have to watch episode 7. But for the most part, I'm caught up, so that's an accomplishment. Just looking at my notes. I kind of did bullet points. I mean, I've written it, but it's like I just want to go from the top of my head usually. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So, Daemon in the Riverlands and in Harrenhal in general has been just kind of a mess. I've seen people saying or speculating that Ryan Condal, who is one of the showrunners, he apparently didn't like the way that Daemon was received by the audience in season 1, so that's why he's been slowly diminishing his character, which I don't really agree with, because, you know, as a writer as well, and then a lot of writers will tell you too, that characters kind of take their own life on, and they do certain things themselves without you really having it as a plan. Like they come to life, not in a creepy way, but like they have their own personalities, and you know what they're going to do because they basically tell you what they're going to do. It's not like you trying to direct the characters like it's a stage play. The characters do their own thing, and the story unfolds organically, whether you want it to or not. And if you try to go against that, it creates like a disconnect and a discord in the writing. And I think that's what's happening with Daemon, because Daemon in season 1 was everything that people said he was in the books. He was daring, and he was dashing, and he was the rogue prince, literally. But at the same time, he had like a mysterious, softer side, and it was very intriguing to watch. And it's like, even though we had scenes of him like murdering his first wife, which wasn't cool, at the same time, it's like you have to wonder why he did it, or did he do it, or did he not do it, because they cut away. So And then we just found out that she passed away, and it's like, did she pass away from exposure? Was it really him? Although the suggestive cut of Daemon picking up the rock and then somebody in King's Landing cutting off a fish head, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but that's like a subtle nuance of the narrative storytelling, which is, again, that's kind of lost now because Daemon was very interesting in season 1. And I know that when Lena passed away from, her dragon rider stuff, there was a scene of Daemon, there was a still of scene of Daemon comforting his children. And they took that out for some reason. And then now we have season 2 where Daemon, I don't even think he remembers he has children. Like, we have a scene of Lena's ghost in Harrenhal even telling him, Daemon, have you checked on our girls? Daemon doesn't remember that he has 2 girls. Daemon doesn't know that he has 2 sons with Rhaenyra. Daemon is an absent parent. We have seen him interact zero with his girls. I mean, when Lena was alive, he was only talking to Baela anyway, because Baela was the one who had the dragon, and Rhaena was useless, quote unquote. So, but we have stuff like that, and it's like, it's realistic. It's not great, but it's realistic. And then we just have this season at Harrenhal where Daemon is sleeping with his mother and coveting his brother's wife, and realizing that he ruined Rhaenyra, but at the same time, he still, even after this fever dream, kind of resolves and goes full force at continuing to ruin Rhaenyra's reputation. Like, I can't, Jaehaerys, I think the kid's name was, Helena's little boy, was, Daemon basically, he didn't really put a hit out on him, but at the same time, he kind of did. It's, it's vague, but basically it was Daemon's fault that that boy died. And the Riverland people know it. And I guess the people of King's Landing know it too. And they don't think it's Rhaenyra because Otto's propaganda backfired because Aegon, that sounds like a British pronunciation. Aegon hung the rat catchers. So we kind of have all of Daemon's sins welling up. And it's like a lot of people were saying, especially in season 1, that, oh, Daemon, you want the crown, you're going to betray Viserys. And in season 1, Daemon, it was kind of questionable if he was trolling or not, if he wanted the crown, or maybe he was just, I don't know, it was a prank. Same with like his jest in the brothel about the heir for a day. Was that a prank? Was it a jest? Was it his true feelings? That was very ambiguous in season 1. But in season 2, it's like, there's no subtlety at all. Daemon goes and tells the Blackwood guy who was vying for Rhaenyra's hand to go commit mass atrocities on the women and the children of the Brackens. And the Blackwood flies the Targaryen banner, even though Daemon says not to because they don't respect Daemon. And it's like Daemon can't even cut his way out of that because it was super obvious. Now we have Lord Grover Tully, one of the Muffets of the Riverlands, River Run, dying. And Daemon is going to have to tryst with Oscar Tully, the young lord. And Daemon, the first time they met, was basically like, why can't you just smother your grandsire and then we can get on with this war and I can go leave? And now how's Daemon going to kind of beat the allegations of him have something to do with this atrocity when it was clearly him, when he clearly said that? And then Alice Rivers, the witch who is resident in Harrenhal, who Daemon's been besties with, who people have seen him interact with, or unless she's a ghost or really a barn owl. I mean, nobody else has seen her except for Simon, and it's like that could just be a well-placed, like, look kind of like The Sixth Sense, where it's like Alice seems like she's there, but she's really not there, and Simon is just looking at things to kind of see like what Daemon is looking at, kind of like how Simon was looking at the serving wench, and Daemon thought it was Lena. So maybe it's one of those things. But it's like Daemon has no out this season. Like, he was at least sneaky and cunning in season 1. Season 2, he's just like, yeah, I want to be king now. I don't support Rhaenyra anymore. I'm gonna have these bad nightmares where I feel guilty about ruining Rhaenyra, but at the same time, I'm still gonna ruin Rhaenyra because I want to be king all of a sudden. and I don't respect Rhaenyra, and I don't respect her claim, and I'm going to raise this army for myself. Even though these people don't respect me, I'm going to try to force them to make me their liege. It's just really weird. And I don't know why Harrenhal is continually going on so long, because it really does seem like Ryan Condal or just whoever is writing this really just wants the audience to hate Daemon, and it's not an organic growth because it's diminishing his character and he's regressing. And for all this somewhat so-called spiritual awakening, like Alice Rivers' actress said inside the episode, it seems like Daemon is just regressing as a character. And he's not really dealing with all the terrible things he's done. Maybe he's being honest now about it, like he really did want the crown all along, even though he respected Viserys, but he doesn't respect his niece, which was Viserys' daughter. But I mean, it's just weird. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, I can just Rhaenyra and Mysaria. So this definitely explains why Mysaria did not find it funny back then, and also now when Daemon made a jest about her bearing his children, because we learn her backstory that she can't have children. So obviously that's why that really bothered her. But it's also kind of weird that we don't know how old Mysaria is, and she's somebody from Rhaenyra's childhood, basically. And now she's hitting on Rhaenyra, and she's also been with his uncle. So it's like, isn't Mysaria like a dragon tamer at this point? Shouldn't she be down in Dragonstone with the rest of those guys with the wooden sticks pointing dragons? Because she has a lot of experience riding dragons now, and she doesn't even have Valyrian blood. It's wild. But other than that, Alicent receives a cut the same way that Rhaenyra did. So, do you guys remember in season 1 when Aemon claimed Vhagar and Alicent cut Rhaenyra, and then it was like the clear divide of the blacks and the greens was shown for the first time on screen? In this Smallfolk, I don't even know if I should call it a riot, but the ambush of Helena and Alicent at the Sept, I don't know how she received it, but Alicent receives a cut almost the exact same. I don't know if it's the same arm, but it's the same way that Rhaenyra did. And it's kind of like, it's coinciding with a lot of Alicent's bad choices of like doing things that Rhaenyra did, or things that she did to Rhaenyra are coming back to haunt her. So I think that's really cool. I've also seen people get kind of angry that the Greens are being portrayed as villains and the Blacks are being portrayed as I don't know, heroes, but as a better side. But at the same time, it's like Rhaenyra kind of is the victim of the circumstances. I mean, I am Team Black too, but at the same time, it's like Rhaenyra did not want the throne. Her father gave her the throne, and he was trying to groom her a little bit to rule. Aegon was not to inherit the throne. Aegon knew this, but it was the outsiders, Alicent and Otto, which, you know, again, it wasn't really Alicent's fault because she was raised to be a pawn and a broodmare, and she was a teenager when all those things happened, and she had to marry Viserys and put on her mother's dress. So I don't really blame her to a certain extent because her own mother was gone, and Otto just used her as a pawn. So it's like I kind of get her mindset a little bit. It's not like I really blame her, but at the same time, it's like maybe she should, if she loved her kids, they wouldn't have been so awful through all this. And I think it speaks volumes that the one child that Alicent didn't even raise is a good person. And speaking, you know, in reference to Daemon and Old Town, and that Otto actually wants to talk to that child after Otto has twisted 3 of Alicent's children. And he probably would have got the grandkids too if the heir didn't pass away. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just a mess. But I think that's it for now. I'm gonna go on to episode 7. I don't really have anything else to say, I don't think. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, because I want to see the dragons. I know the dragonseeds claim the dragons. And again, I know the fate of what happens. Unfortunately, I don't know how it happens, but I do know the spoilers from the books. I'm hoping it diverges a little bit, especially since it seems like Rhaena is getting Nettle's plot from the books, which a lot of people aren't happy about, but people aren't happy about a lot of things. People aren't happy that Corlys is quote unquote black, even though George R. R. Martin originally was going to make the Valerians quote unquote black or swarthy because they are based on the Atlanteans who had dark skin and white hair. But and you know, Atlantis was in the Americas. You know, Atlantic Sea, it was right here. So I mean, and you know, the Forbes Doomsday map shows it reappearing pretty soon. So I mean, it's just a lot of things. I mean, again, it's people say fantasy fandoms are toxic, which I don't really believe, but people can believe what they want. It's just a TV show at the end of the day. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here. So let me know your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye bye.